Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. Can you guys hear me okay? Oh, wow. Y'all got here early. I know, because I'm ready to talk about these outfits. I've been waiting all freaking weekend. We were supposed to have this live stream tomorrow, and I was like, I'm not waiting another 24 hours. It was already hard to wait 2 more days. So I was not about to wait again. Oh, thank you so much, Marsha Williams, for saying yes. Okay, so y'all can't hear me. We have a lot to talk about, but before we get into it, thank y'all so much for joining the live stream. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And y'all want to know something funny before we get into it? I'm going to put the comments on the screen. Y'all want to know something funny before we get into it? Do y'all see the change in the background, the black and white? Tell me why I did this last Monday, like Tuesday, after our last live stream. I wanted a change just because some things are blue, some things are black, and I'm transitioning to have everything more aligned. And I was like, black and white goes with everything, and it won't clash with all my books back here. So I did black and white. So imagine my surprise when the first live stream back with the new change, it's because Meghan did a little day-night combo. I said, oh, she's in my head. Look at me anticipating. Something tells me I tapped in some kind of way. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm to blame. But anyway, I appreciate y'all joining. Hey, Church Nelly, it's good to see you. Thank y'all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Hi, Sharon Skinner. It's good to see you. Sharon Skinner, was your name something else before? Because I feel like I recognize your profile picture, but I feel like you were under another name. Let me know. I might be crazy, but let me know. All right. So as if you guys did not know, we have something special to talk about, but I wanted to introduce today's topic with a little special intro because this weekend was just such a magical moment. First of all, I didn't expect Meghan to pop out. And when she did, I didn't expect her to take my breath away. So I always have nothing but positive things to say about Meghan. I'm always talking about all the really cool things about her and Harry and just their family and their life and just the work that they do. I'm really inspired by it. This might be the first time I have a gripe about Meghan. Now, hold on. I have a real gripe with her. And if you know Meghan, let her know that I'm upset because at no point did she consider that I didn't have anything else to do over the weekend than fawn over her clothes before she put on those dashing outfits. Like she didn't consider my feelings at all. She didn't say, well, Sharion might want to read a book. No, because every time I crack open a book, I'm like, what if she pop out something else? So then I put the book down, get on Instagram, and lo and behold, she did. So she decided that this weekend belonged to her, and I didn't really have much of a say in it. So thanks, Meghan. You just decided to take my whole weekend, and I had a good time while doing it. Anyway, I really enjoyed looking at all the fashion. I love Fashion Week Milan, New York, Paris. I like to watch. I have never been to a Fashion Week in my life. And that is something I want to do for one of my birthdays. But I usually just watch online and I like to look at all the looks and see who's going to pop out, etc. I was so surprised when I saw Meghan. And I'm not even going to lie. When I posted her walking and in the hallway, the marble floors on her with her shoes on top of the marble floors, I was like, now, I know she's not in Paris this weekend. I feel like I would have heard about it. Guess what? No leaks in Montecito. Of course you wouldn't have heard about it, Sharion. Nobody's got to check in with you before they go anywhere, but I genuinely did not expect that. So that was a surprise and such a fun surprise. We had such a good time. Oh, wow. Okay. Sharon Skinner said, I've had the same profile picture for years now. Okay. Must have been somebody else that had that same one, but I feel like their name was like Supernatural TV show fan, something like that. But anyway, thank y'all so much for being here. I'm going to go ahead and play the intro. Keep the conversation going in the comment section, and we will resume when I return. I had to pay a little tribute to those outfits because the whole look was just so nice. And I'm going to be honest, it was so nice to see how much security she had and that they were doing like the 4 points, the 4 points formation. Like they had her covered on all sides, because ever since what happened with Kim Kardashian, anytime a lot of celebrities are in Paris, especially when they're going to be doing something kind of like Fashion Week or something like that, I'm always like, I hold my breath a little bit. So it was really good to see that she was well taken care of. Also, I didn't actually see Meghan's post about Fashion Week first. I actually saw Vogue's. Vogue was on her like a hawk all weekend. They posted her so much on their stories, on their Instagram. They were pushing out articles left and right all over their social media. I mean, I think they featured her more than anyone else. And it's so funny because last week, you guys, we talked about the situations, Meghan's interactions with Vogue on a number of levels with Anna Wintour. I have a whole video about Anna Wintour's love of Meghan and all the time she's like shouted her out. But also some other stuff that was going on related to British Vogue, blah, blah, blah. And in that video, I was like, Anna Wintour loves Meghan and she makes that known all the time. And I got a couple of comments that were like, Anna Wintour is shady. I don't think she really likes Meghan, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Anna Wintour's just not, from what I've seen, she's just not one to blow smoke. If she doesn't like someone, she's just not going to say anything. And so she's not going to like blow smoke. I just never got the vibe that she disliked her. And every time they've seen each other, it's always so warm. And to see how not only they interacted when Meghan arrived, but Anna was like, what is it? Exclamatory. Like she was like, you look amazing. And like the kisses on the cheeks and the embrace, and she was making sure she saw everybody. They just seemed like they were so warm with each other. She loves her. She absolutely does. But I really enjoyed seeing that warm welcome. But also everybody just seemed excited to see her. I loved the videos of Meghan with Tracee Ellis Ross. They looked like they were having a good time. There were a couple of times The Cut magazine, their social media pretty much just had one camera on Meghan the whole time. And if you followed their social media, you saw they pushed out a ton of videos as well, probably more than Vogue. But they had their camera just set on Meghan. And her and Tracee Ellis Ross were cracking up the whole time. Like, I don't know what they were talking about, but I was like, I would love to be a little fly on the stool next to them and hear what they're talking about. But anyway, they look like they were having a really good time. Hi, Renee Thomas. Renee Thomas says, Anna smile. Okay. And that's rare. I will say Anna Wintour has seemed really light and free since she stepped down from being editor-in-chief. She just seems like she can breathe. There have been photos coming out of her at like random bars, just chilling and talking to bartenders. And I was like, not Anna. She's having the time of her life. And she did like a little spot for like a little interview spot. I haven't watched it, but it was for social media to promote The Devil Wears Prada 2. I just thought, I love seeing growth. I love how far everyone has come. Oh, wow. Okay, wait, the comments are coming in so fast, y'all. Sorry. Let me put the comments on the screen. Hi, Church Nelly. Church Nelly says, while I would love to see Meghan in more bright colors, that white and black outfit was stunning. Yes, like the desire is there to like diversify here and there, but sometimes when it works, it works. You just know what works for you. Like for me, for example, like one of my favorite colors is yellow, but I don't wear it often because it washes me out. And I love yellow and it puts me in such a good mood. But every time I wear it, I hate how I look in pictures and videos. Sometimes you just got to work with what's working. Now, Meghan rocks colorful clothes very, very well. But I don't know, it's just something about her in cream colors for me. It really brings out like a glow in her. So I love when she wears like white, cream, when she wears anything like kind of a buff palette. I love it so much because it exudes this kind of glow. It looks good on her skin. Hi, Gwen Daniel. Gwen Daniel says, Harry made sure his beautiful Meghan was protected. He don't play no games. He does not play any games. I do not blame him. Hi, Shelly Miranda. Shelly Miranda says, hello, Sussex Squad. Our princess looked wonderful. She absolutely did. Hi, Marsha Williams. Marsha Williams says, didn't see the dress on the runway. I kept looking. Oh, okay. Was it supposed to be on the runway? Some of those outfits were coming out kind of fast. I didn't see all of them. And I tried to watch that, the whole show, but I missed a couple of outfits. So I didn't see it either, but who knows? It was probably there. And sometimes when they put outfits on the model, it looks so different. Clothes look so different on those little bodies. I'm not even lying. Like those just straight just kind of mannequin bodies, because that's the point, is so that you can see the garment and it's not really, you don't really have any definition to it. And clothes look so different. There have been a number of things that I've seen Beyonce wear and found out they were straight off the runway. And when I go look up the model, I'm like, whoever the designer is, better be glad Beyonce got a hold of it. Because it just looks, sometimes those clothes look way better just on more fuller bodies. I'll say that, not to put the models down at all. Hi, Marsha Williams. The naysayers are eating their hearts out. Yes, they are. I had a couple of them get so mad because on a few of my reels, I posted the princess in Paris just because I thought it was cute. But yes, she is a princess. Like, yes, that's not her official title, but part of her title is Princess Henry. But she is literally a princess. But she goes by Duchess, the Duchess of Sussex. But people get so butthurt. I have a few whole videos explaining all of her titles, as well as her name, as well as the updated Meghan Sussex and why we should use that. But I got a couple of them little haters. Child, they were so mad I called her princess, which only made me want to do it more, because sometimes I get in my antagonism bag. Like, if you don't like her or anyone else, why are you engaging with content about them? But you know what? If they made any sense and if they had common sense, they wouldn't be haters. So I feel like I'm expecting a lot, but they got so mad and then some of them wrote these long paragraphs about Meghan and I just can't stand her, blah, blah, blah. And I was reading it in my held comments and I said, you did all that and it's just going to get blocked and deleted. Nobody even saw it. Thumb sore for no reason. They was typing away too. And you can tell they typed in a fury because it was in all caps and a whole bunch of errors. I was like, now I should stop stressing them out before they pop. But no. Hi, Church Nelly. Church Nelly says the derangers are deranging. Child, they will do what they do. And they were, oh my goodness, they were completely jumping out of their skin this weekend. You know what's so funny to me? Again, if they had common sense, they wouldn't choose to use their time being haters. So again, I'm expecting a lot. But do you know how if I don't like somebody, I'm not about to let them know I've expelled so much energy on them? If somebody's got me jumping out of my skin, somebody's irritating me, the last thing I'm gonna do is let them know about it. I'm not gonna let them know I care. Like, you know, but you know, they don't make sense. If they made sense, they wouldn't be hating, and they would definitely not be hating on Meghan. Church Nelly says, I didn't know that Anna can smile. Okay, low-key. Me either, because I told you ever since she stepped down, she has just been lighter and freer. They were stressing our girl the hell out. She must have been really busy because she has been smiling all over the place now. She seems so much happier. And she's still creative director, I think. So she still has a role, but it's just not as intense, which is good. That's good. She probably just had a lot on her plate. Meghan has that swinging from the shaft. I didn't see the whole comment before I decided to highlight this on my screen. But I'm trying to get through this without laughing. Because nobody want to hear no laughing and cackling into the mic. But ma'am, could you please? I'm trying to get through a live stream, Church Nelly. I'm going to be hoarse before we even finish. Hi, Megan's Jam. Megan's Jam says, I always thought that Anna had a resting bee face, but the smile she gave Meghan was something else. She does have a resting bee face. And as a member of the resting bee face club, it's kind of hard not to look like you're scowling. But when you wear sunglasses, oh, you can hang it up. She be looking like Secret Service. So to see her not only smile, but she showed teeth. I said, oh my goodness. She don't like Meghan. She must love Meghan. I've never seen her smile that big. And I saw her in a few pictures with some people, and I didn't see her smile that big with anyone else. And I didn't even see her in a picture with certain someones who were also in attendance, which I just thought was so funny. Hi, Andrea Allen. Andrea says the black one was on the runway, but it was in orange. Hi to all in the chat. Okay, thank you for letting us know. Now I'm gonna go back and look for it. Got it. Okay. So we have to get to the first segment. I can't be talking to y'all the whole time. We have to actually get to the segments. But first we have to talk about, in this segment, we're going to talk about the actual outfits, the white and the black, what I loved most about them, as well as some commentary from some other fashion critics who were talking about it. All of the sources for today's live stream, all of the articles and anything I pulled from is in the description box below. So if you want to go give some of those articles some love and give them some traction, feel free to click on those links. But yeah, we're going to get to segment one. Keep the conversation going over here, and then we'll continue when I get back. Over the weekend, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, made an appearance at Paris Fashion Week, attending the Balenciaga show. She wore a white, oversized cape over a button-down shirt of the same color. Meghan paired the light attire with black pointed toe heels, and she kept her hair in a slick-back bun. A spokesperson for Meghan tells People magazine she attended the Balenciaga show in support of Pier Paolo Pacioli, who recently assumed the role of creative director for the luxury fashion house. Quote, over the years, the Duchess has worn a number of designs by Pier Paolo. They have worked closely together, collaborating on design for key moments on the world stage, her spokesperson says. They add of Meghan and Pacioli, she has long admired his craftsmanship and modern elegance, and tonight was no different. This evening reflects the culmination of many years of artistry and friendship, reflected in her support for his new creative chapter at Balenciaga. That evening, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, attended the show's after-party and switched into a second Balenciaga look, another custom Pacioli creation, which was similarly sophisticated in feel. The black midi-length dress also featured a caped neckline, which draped over one shoulder and had a low asymmetric back. She wore the same black pointed toe heels and accessorized simply with a couple of gold bracelets and diamond stud earrings. Now here are my thoughts on her look. First, for the all-white look. There was drama with that cape. Sophistication with the ensemble as a whole, but pairing the outfit with the hair and makeup, she exuded a certain graceful aura that carried through in her posture, her walk, and even her expression. In an era where many are being more modish and leading into either an elevated rock and even grunge aesthetic or modern day Barbie, which is also okay and I also enjoy, with mixed patterns and fabrics, eccentric makeup, and trendy, almost animated hairstyles, Meghan and her looks were a breath of fresh air. Her choice to go minimalistic at Fashion Week was a huge risk, especially in Paris, where the expectation of the front row attendees is to rival the arresting flamboyance of the runway itself. She and her team took somewhat of a gamble on potentially being overlooked, with every other person there is fully laced with bells and whistles. However, when it comes to the Duchess of Sussex, timeless elegance, ease, smooth grandeur, and distinction aren't for naught. They're exactly what the designer ordered. The complexity within the simplicity lies within the details, the flair of the cape that managed to both appear weighted while still flowing with each stride. The glassy skin and barely there makeup emanate opulence, especially when paired with the shine of healthy hair pulled back into a regal bun. Meghan did not just rock this look, she was this look. Clothing featured upon her rather than losing her in dramatic panache. This look depended on Meghan's key staples to work. The bun, the capes, monochromatic pieces, light makeup, all of which signatures of the Duchess of Sussex and her style. She was the moment, the key element that made this look fiercely breathtaking and immediately pulled the air out of the room. And as if that weren't already apparent, the gasps from the crowd when she floated by were the perfect accessory for her Paris Fashion Week debut. A debut fit for a princess. Now for her second look. Meghan is nothing if not consistent, and she pulled a seamless day-night outfit combo, not in reference to time, but an oppositional yet compatible pairing of a white to black transition perfectly. I love that she chose to do that. The second outfit with the asymmetrical open back, midi length, and cape over a sleeveless arm are not only perfect for evening elegance, but the perfect complement to the first look. Her makeup was darker, her pout was more tinted, and overall, this look bared a bit more skin. Mind you, the skin was a featured accessory and focal point for both ensembles. They did that. While both looks were individually stunning, seeing them together was majestic, at least for me. Both looks were caped, something Meghan is known for. However, the balance lies in how the looks differ. The first look is monochromatic white, long pants, longer balanced cape, and long sleeves, while the second is a black dress, shorter at a midi length, sleeveless, and not only shorter, now asymmetrical cape, but an open back. She went from angelic outfit that's white to the sultry black dress, a harmonious double feature that completely shifted the vibe. Championing a less is more motif while captivating every eye globally is a feat only a select few have accomplished. And like her mother-in-law before her, for the Duchess of Sussex, it was just another day. She rocked those looks. Y'all let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. So I really enjoyed both of those looks, and I love them for different reasons. So the nighttime look is probably one that I could see myself wearing. I'm not a big cape person, but something about the way not only that she wore it, but the asymmetrical aspect of it with the one open arm, that really just spoke to me. And I love that as well as the length. I love a good midi length for an evening out because for some reason, well, not for some reason, because I have hips, but when I sit down, my skirts and dresses like to come on up. And I prefer midi length because I don't have to worry about that. If it comes on up, it'll never cross the knee. So I can always just relax and be comfortable. I don't have to do the little prayer cloth. But I like midi length for that reason, so I can just be more comfortable. But I love not only the midi length, but the hem of it, just that flow. I also like how it kind of like magnetized to her body as she was moving. There was just so many ripples and waves, but it was form fitting. It was just such a well-made garment. Everything about that dress I love. And that's something I could actually see myself in. Now that white ensemble, if I had somewhere to go in that, I could see myself in that. Hell, if I had that, I would just wear that around the house. I would wear that to run errands just so somebody could see me in it. Like, that absolutely took my breath away. And somebody left me a comment. I wish I had snapped a photo or taken it. I'm so sorry. If it was you, let me know in the comments. But somebody left me a comment and said, Sharion, this reminds me of her Dior dress that you love so much. And I was like, yes, it has that same energy, that same elegance. It's just majestic. It just flowed. Everything about that look was so nice. As a matter of fact, it took me a couple of times to look at it from different angles to realize it was pants. I actually thought it was a long dress. Turns out it was pants. So it's functional and elegant. It was just beautiful. I loved everything about it. And it was so unique. I didn't see anything else similar to that white outfit at Fashion Week. And that's kind of hard to do, especially when you have trends and you have like a theme and a vibe. And it's also monochromatic white. So it's easy for that to be similar to something else. It was just so unique. And I don't know the word, but awe-inspiring. When I saw it, I was literally like, and the fact that she chose, and I don't want to skip ahead, we'll talk about the hair and makeup, but the fact that she and her team chose to go with a glassy, barely there skin and a pulled back bun, I don't know. It was just so elevated. It was just so high fashion. Everything about it was so good. I absolutely loved it. And this is from someone who could literally just wear a little black dress and a heel and still make headlines and still make the covers of things, and people would still be talking about it just because it's her. The fact that she not only was there, but was there and shut it down in that way. Hats off, ma'am. She killed that. She absolutely looked wonderful. Hi, Claudia Sims. It's good to see you. Claudia says, hello, everyone. I love both outfits, but that black from the back, awesome. Yes, the backless. Oh, my goodness. And you know what's so funny? Someone just channeled her wedding dress and they wore it with an asymmetrical open back. And we actually just talked about that last week. And I thought that was so funny because I was like, they added an asymmetrical open back. What an interesting idea. I like it, only for this dress to actually have that feature. So it looks like that might be what's on trend right now. I love that. And Meghan's back is great. She always has, like, when she does an open back, she always has like a lot of muscles and a lot of definition in her back. So that's definitely a feature she should have. But it just worked. Everything about both looks just worked for me. Hi, Vivi Mac. Vivi says, hi, everyone. The UK media should know that our Duchess shook off UK dust from her feet. She is thriving and inspiring. Fabulous. They were sick. All weekend they were sick. She can go to Paris, but she can't come here and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, hey, are you having a fashion week? Are you inviting her to it? Like, are you going to make sure she's safe while there? There's a couple of steps we got to cover before you can have your Meghan. You got to make sure you do right by her. But, no one's going to invite Meghan over there for her to just be mistreated. You got to treat her right. That's part of it. It's kind of like people who disrespect you and then they ask why you don't come around anymore. Because the last time I was here, you called me fat and you talked bad about me. You didn't give me any gas money. Like, people will mistreat you and then be like, why you don't come around no more? Because you're a pill. That's kind of the relationship. Not everybody there, but the people there who hate on Meghan are like really, really nasty extended relatives that always wonder why you don't come around, but they never do anything to incentivize you visiting. Like, they don't treat you well. They're not nice. They're not exactly pleasant to be around. They can't cook. Their house stink. Like, and then they always want to ask, why you don't ever come to anything? Girl, because your house smells like cat piss. I don't want to come over there. It's the same energy. If you want Meghan to come, you have to treat her right and you have to make sure she's safe. I mean, we got to start with the basics. Goodness gracious. Thank you. Hi, S. No one in France is threatening Princess Meghan's safety. You know, let's state the obvious. Like, they act like we saw what happened and what y'all did. Not everybody over there, but the culprits over there who contributed to what happened to Harry and Meghan. We have that on record. You're part of history now and you're not on the right side of it. Why would she want to come over there if you guys are always threatening her and her kids and her husband? Of course not. Good for Meghan. Hey, YM Droid, it's good to see you. YM Droid says, my opinion, Meghan and Pier Paolo, the new creative director, are friends, and we know Meghan will show up and show out for a friend. Sure will. Absolutely. She will go above and beyond for her friends. Absolutely. You are right about that. Hey, Joan Garcia, it's great to see you. Joan Garcia says, Meghan looked like she just floated into that space. That's the perfect word for it. She absolutely did. I literally had to look and see if the lady had feet. I said, oh, is she floating now? Oh, okay. All right. Hey, I can get with it. If you can do it, get out. She looked good. She looked good. And did y'all hear the oh my God, when she walked by? I played it in the last clip. I'm going to upload all of the segments as individual videos after this so that you can watch them without the commentary on it. But when she was walking in, all of the, oh my God, in the background, oh my God, that took me out. I would probably do the same thing because nobody expected her there. Hi, Black Queen. It's good to see you. Oh, I'm sorry. You're replying to something, but I love your new profile picture, Black Queen. You look good. Let's see. Hold on. I'm agreeing with y'all's comments and then they're going so fast. Give me 1 second. It's been a while since I've used this little device. Absolutely. Hi, Ghislaine Monestein. Is it Monestein or Monestein? Meghan is the moment. Wow. She really was. Everyone was talking about her. Absolutely everyone. And I also love that because she and the designer are friends, that she was able to bring so much publicity to his show as well. And he was already designing for Balenciaga, so he was going to get the publicity. But I love that he's at the top of the conversation when it comes to Paris Fashion Week now. That was such a good little combination. I'm glad that she went. I'm glad he invited her, and I'm glad that it worked out for everyone. Hi, YM Droid. YM Droid says, she really set the stage for the new phase of Balenciaga, which thank goodness seems very different from the previous one. Okay. So, Meghan did the impossible because I had written off Balenciaga. I had written them off, and no need to go backwards because that's in the past, and they have entered a new era. And I feel like they cut the riffraff who was dragging them into the mud. But yes, I really love that they're still managing to be cutting edge, kind of edgy, a cut above, just a little bit different, but not the salaciousness of what was going on before. I love that they're in a new era, and Meghan is the perfect person to highlight from this new era. Abso-freaking-lutely. I could not agree more. I'm really excited to see what else comes from them. I actually like the runway show. Little secret, I typically do not like the looks that I see on a runway. I typically don't. I don't really like them until I see them on people who are actually wearing the garment. They've accessorized it. They've done something with it. I typically don't really like how clothes look on the models in shows because everything has to be a blank palette and a blank canvas. But these looks, I loved all of them. There was this one really long green skirt that swept the floor that I was just like, okay, I love that. I was very much into that. There was a lot of little looks that I saw that I was really into. Y'all did not come here for me to be reviewing that man's line. It says, I can see our Duchess knock it out on behalf of the fashion house on Friday and Saturday, fingers crossed. So we do have a lot to look forward to this week. I don't want to jump ahead because we will be having another live stream from Harry and Meghan in New York. So I'm excited to look forward to that, but I'm even more excited to see what looks she pulls out. I'm excited about that as well. Hi, Black Queen. Thank you so much for being a member for 13 months. I feel like it's longer than that. Thank you so much. Black Queen says, my membership was reset by YouTube. My membership should be closer to 24 months. I knew I wasn't crazy. Okay, happy 24 months, Black Queen. We just gonna celebrate the real number. YouTube is tripping. YM Droid says, I'll put it this way. I was actually paying attention to the clothes because of Meghan, and I can't say the same about previous ambassadors. Even when they walked in the show, I wasn't caring about previous ambassadors. So we right there together. Right there together. I completely agree. Joyce Vos says, Meghan reminds me of Audrey Hepburn. Yes, actually, Church Nelly said the same thing. She had very much an Audrey Hepburn vibe with both looks, and I could not agree more. I definitely felt like it was being channeled. Audrey Hepburn had such a classic style, but she still managed to not look retro. She managed to always look contemporary but classic, and that's not easy to do, but it worked with the hair, the makeup, the look. I get exactly what you mean. I could not agree more. Okay, so we have one more segment that we're going to check out, and then I'm going to give more of my opinion. Keep the conversation going on the other side, and we will continue when I get back. Thank you so much for watching the SharionSade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video. Headlines are rolling in, exclaiming the excitement of the fashion world to have Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, make her Paris Fashion Week debut over the weekend. She's already landed on 5 best dressed lists at the time of recording this segment, and that does include Vogue as well as British Vogue. Everything about her look has been dissected, from her stunning minimalist makeup, her sleek and sophisticated bun, and her avant-garde capes. And yes, I said capes. It's plural. Who knew 24 hours could turn the world on its head? I'm guessing Meghan knew. She's used to this. While we know her looks were designed by Pier Paolo Piccioli, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the incredible work of Meghan's glam squad. They're the best in the business. When Meghan's longtime friend and makeup artist Daniel Martin isn't making me laugh during his guest spots on With Love Meghan, y'all know he's my favorite guest from both seasons. He's actually at his day job, being a fabulous makeup artist to the stars, including Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. While he may have a head start due to the flawless palette that is Meghan's face, make no mistake, he's one of the best in the business, but he isn't the only secret weapon in her glam squad. Meet Ben Skirvin, the Hollywood hairstylist known for working with some of today's biggest stars, including my favorite blonde, Margot Robbie, and one of my favorite redheads, Jessica Chastain, second only to Bryce Dallas Howard. He's responsible for sleek and shiny low bun that was donning the Duchess's crown over the weekend. Pun intended. While I could say 1,000,001 things about their expertly crafted work, the Menegra said it best. Meghan has long made a habit of recognizing the people behind her image. Her social media posts offer quiet glimpses of that ethos, with Daniel Martin and Ben Skirvin visibly present. Their work shaped the look. Their companionship shaped the moment. The morning after the Balenciaga show, the trio moved through Paris with the ease of a team accustomed to shared successes. It was less a victory lap than a quiet celebration. Stylists and client, friends above all, enjoying the city together. Meghan Sussex continues to lead with intention, and that is evident with her glam squad. Her approach to her style reflects real collaboration, not performative self-sufficiency. I love Miss Historian. While others have let flattering makeup myths flourish for years or quietly absorbed praise for someone else's artistry, Meghan uplifts the craftspeople around her. As she once said, the tide can lift all boats. From London to Los Angeles to Paris, the finishes may vary, but the credits remain consistent. She knows who helped create the moment, and she ensures they are seen. Now, I would be remiss if I did not note that I do feel like this is in response to finally, after all these years, clarity that has come to the forefront about another royal who perpetuated a myth that she did her own makeup. Meanwhile, it all came out that she did not. Now, there has been doubt about that story for many, many years, and I have actually talked about it a couple of years ago saying that was the story. But seeing how things have panned out over the years, I'm just not seeing examples of that talent. And I was a little surprised that that was the story, that for a royal wedding, they would actually do their own makeup and then it would turn out like that, especially since what we've seen since that time, only for it to all come out and those suspicions to be validated that no, she in fact did not do her own makeup. Now, I'm not saying any names because I don't want to make this moment about anyone else, but I love that Miss Historian noted the importance of crediting people who actually do the work. I have seen a few of your requests to talk about the makeup myth that was debunked, and we will be doing that tomorrow. We were supposed to do it today, but I did not want to waste this fabulous Monday post Paris Fashion Week weekend talking about anyone else other than the main moment, and that is Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. But tomorrow I will be giving my thoughts on the debunked makeup myth, and I cannot wait. I love that Meghan, no matter what's going on in her life, no matter how much of a moment she's having, no matter how many eyes are upon her, she does not waste a second crediting the people who do the work and highlighting them for what they do. She consistently shows appreciation, and that is why people love working with her, and so many of the people that work with her become lifelong friends. So you guys, let me know, what are your thoughts about this beautiful makeup look, as well as this beautiful hair and Meghan's overall ensemble? Let me know in the comment section below. So I absolutely loved her hair and makeup. I think it was such a bold choice for them to go so understated, and it worked. First of all, not everybody can do that, especially when you're going to have so many camera flashes on you. It can do a lot in the photos when you don't have on a certain amount of makeup or certain types of makeup. Sometimes you do have to cake it on to kind of offset the camera flashes. I've seen photos of like some celebrities where they had on the wrong concealer, and when the camera flashed, they were ashy and white. One that comes to mind is Kim Kardashian on her, I think it was her rehearsal dinner in Italy. I can't remember, when she was getting married to Kanye. It was the night before the wedding. And they didn't finish her makeup, or they used the wrong makeup, and the cameras flashed and she was ghost white. And oh, it was bad. And I felt so bad for her because when the cameras weren't flashing, she looked great. So doing minimal makeup can be risky, but when you have the best of the best, you are in good hands. And that is how I know both Ben Skirvin and Daniel Martin know what they're doing, but also that they know what they're doing for Meghan specifically, because they just get it. They know how to highlight her beautiful bone structure, her gorgeous deep set eyes. They know how to just make her look like Meghan elevated, Meghan high fashion, because they didn't deviate from her at all. She just has already a really great palette, but they didn't have to overdo it. They didn't have to over accentuate. Her face was the perfect palette, and they knew exactly what to do. Pull her hair back, let her face be its own moment, and just do her. And I like the glassy skin. I just thought that was so beautiful. I've seen that trend, and I've wanted to try it a couple of times, but I've seen that trend, and I love it. I think it's so cute. But I loved it in this context with the all white and the all black. It just looks so, I think the word I'm looking for is just high fashion. It just looks so elevated. Everything about it was so chic. Absolutely, I loved it. And I also love that she works with people that she's known pretty much her whole adult life. I just think that says something about her and her character, but also them as well, that they all not only still work together, but they seem to remain so close, just friends. Ben Skirvin actually posted, it's great when you get to work with friends. It doesn't feel like work. I could not describe it better myself. I thought they looked so happy and like they were having a really good time. Hi, Gwen Daniel. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one, but I'll go ahead and read it. Gwen Daniel says that liquor has messed William's brain up and Kate is just naturally senseless. You know what? It's never the wrong time for someone to drop facts. So thank you, Gwen Daniel. But let me get to some of the comments about Meghan's outfits. Hi, Church Nelly. Thank you so much for being a member for 32 months. I've been meaning to highlight this, but thank you so much. Hi, Corlita Simon. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hi, 50 is Fabulous. 50 is Fabulous says, Anna Wintour said, you look amazing. She sure did. She loved Meghan's look. She looked her up and down like 2 times. I was like, what? It's really hard to impress Miss Anna. And she seemed like she had the same reaction I did. She seemed awestruck. Hi, R.R. Carter. R.R. Carter says, flanked with men in black. Sure was. Security was top notch, and they were not playing about her. Every person that said her name, they immediately were like, their heads were on a swivel. And I know that's right. Keep her safe. Hi, 1111. 1111 says, do y'all see how much Balenciaga is posting Meghan on Insta? I love it. Yes, she is the moment. She is absolutely the moment. They have been posting her all weekend. Same with The Cut and Vogue. They've been going crazy over her. There's like 5 Vogue articles right now, probably more, But the last time I checked was a couple of hours ago, and there were already 5 Vogue articles, including Best Dressed. Hi, Joyce Votes. Joyce Votes says derangers have lost their minds, and we still have the gala this week. We sure do. Yeah, we have a lot coming up and a lot to talk about. I'm looking forward to it. Hi, Kiki. Kiki says, Meghan even broke the Ice Queen, Anna. Now that is a first. Anna had always loved Meghan, contrary to the media lies. I'm telling you, the media that hates on Meghan, they want her to seem irrelevant. But what they fail to realize is that we see through that, because if she weren't relevant and no one liked her, you wouldn't be talking about her. You can't fool us. But not only that, the people determine what's relevant, not the public figures, not other celebrities, but the people who click on these links, who buy these magazines, who look at these ads. We hold the power. And we know the secret. If Meghan weren't getting you clicks, if Meghan weren't getting you attention, if Meghan weren't relevant, you wouldn't be featuring her as much as you do. If they would just accept that they love her as much as everyone else does, we could all just have a good time. They secretly want to praise her, but for some reason they want to appeal to this sordid group of people who are obsessed with hating her because they're too immature and insecure to admit that they love her as well. I mean, I remember when, I can't think of who it is. If y'all know who said this quote, please let me know, because I would love to credit them. But somebody said a hater is just an insecure fan. And I have not seen criticism the same since. Now, it's one thing to give valid criticism, sure, by all means. But one, not everybody is qualified to give criticism or feedback. And then two, there's a difference between criticism and feedback and cruelty. And what those people are doing is projecting their own insecurity onto Meghan. And the media likes to perpetuate that continuous cycle by appealing to them and doing the same, because they think that gets them clicks. When if they paid attention, they would see that it's not the hate that gets them clicks. It's the Meghan that gets them clicks. And if they would just operate with integrity, they probably sell 3 times as much. But let them stay stupid and let their little publications continue to dwindle, because I don't give them any kind of attention. Hi, Andrea Allen. Andrea Allen says, when I first saw it, I said, wow, but very loudly. I had to check and see if it was real. Is that in reference to her outfit? Could you let me know, Andrea? I want to make sure I comment on the right thing. Hi, Helen G. Helen G says, Meghan reminded me of the singer Sade with her wonderful makeup and low bun. Yep, I can see that. I didn't even think about that, but yes, I could absolutely see that. She's another person who does understate it really, really well. She's just, my German queen. She just does it so freaking well. I have a certain affinity to Sade for obvious reasons. I love Sade. She was actually playing in the hospital room when I was born. So I like to say she's the first voice I heard. Hi, Black Queen. Black Queen says, no gaudy stolen blood jewels for thousands of miles. Don't need no stolen tiara to look regally classy and elegant. She brings the royalty with her. She doesn't need any accessories to accentuate what's already there. You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Black Queen. Hi, YM Droid. YM Droid says, the fact that they've been with her for so long says something as well. I agree. Who knows how long Camilla's... I should have anticipated this was going to go left. Who knows how long Camilla's groomer has been doing her mane? I need to proofread these before I get on the mic. Her mane. And we can see Kate's wig person doesn't like her. Sorry. But no. Okay, wait. If you're on Patreon, then y'all have heard my thoughts on Kate's wig. I will not go over it again, because you probably already heard it if you're over on Patreon. But did y'all see Dominique Morgan on TikTok? I love Dominique Morgan. She's an activist, a human rights activist, and a trans rights activist, and I freaking love her. And she does not cover royal matters, but she does cover wigs. And when she saw Kate's wig, her video on TikTok, when I tell you I was hoarse, I literally was supposed to record a video that day and I didn't, because I had laughed so hard. I was hoarse and I sounded horrible. It was so freaking funny. But she was literally trying to be as nice as she could be, but she was just like, y'all didn't have nobody else that could do it. She was like, it looked like straw, don't it? Like, but that was a bad wig. And I don't even want to know what's going on with Camilla's bird's nest. Again, it's not right for them to dislike Meghan, but every time I see them step out into the world, I'm like, I see why they would. I would be insecure too if I looked like them, but I wouldn't project that insecurity. I would just try to get myself right. But yeah, we can definitely see the machinations of a hater with them. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Black Queen. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Hi, YM. Happy 26 months. Thank you so much for being a member. YM Droid says, we see what Kate's wigs have been looking like. I'm gonna try to get through it. We see what Kate's wigs have been looking like. Maybe she's doing a favor by keeping names out of it. Check horse fancies for Cammy's grooming credits. No, you wait a minute. No, wait. If you supplied that wig, if you made that wig, if you styled that wig, and y'all know the one I'm talking about when they went to that museum, I would be so glad that she didn't tell nobody once I saw how it was photographed. I mean, it was bunched in the back. And it's not the fact that she wore a wig. I mean, there's a million and one reasons to wear a wig. It's easier on your hair. Like if you're going to be out and about getting it styled, it's good to wear a wig. But there are great wigs out there. My grandma, who doesn't have nearly as many resources as Kate, had wonderful wigs that did not look bunched in the back. It just looked like she had laid on it for 2 hours before she got up and took those pictures. I was like, they didn't have a brush at Kensington? Or is there a brush shortage in the UK? Somebody let me know. I was so disappointed in that wig. And the thing is, I actually prefer not to see William, Kate, Camilla, or Charles. I'm warming a bit to Charles just because Harry is, and I assume we're going to get more coverage. And I'm preparing myself to talk about him in a neutral light. It will probably never be positive. But if Harry is determined to move forward with him in his life, then I will start reporting on him more neutrally if there's a reason to. But for the rest of them, they can hang it up. And when I saw that wig, I said, see, this is exactly why I don't look at y'all. This is why I don't read nothing about y'all. This is why I don't touch base with y'all, because this wig is a rude mess to my eyes and yours as well. Because why would you do that? She makes it really hard for her supporters to have a leg to stand on defending her. And then making it blonde isn't going to make it look no better. As a matter of fact, the lighter the hair, the drier it looks. So the last thing you should have done with a bad wig was dye it blonde, girl. Anyway. Hi, Andrea. Andrea says, yes, I went shopping, and when I got home, I saw that lovely outfit, the white one. The glam was glamming. Absolutely. Okay, so that's what you were talking about. Yes, that white outfit. Oh, my goodness. It was so beautiful. I loved both outfits, but it was absolutely beautiful. I could not agree more. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry, y'all. The comments be coming so fast. I want to make sure I get to all of y'all. But yes, this whole appearance, I feel like it did such a wonderful job of bringing everybody together over the weekend, because I felt like I was talking to y'all all weekend more than I was talking to the people in my household. But I just could not stop looking at every video, every photo that came out. It was a new angle. They were doing something different. At one point, she had a photo with, Pierre Paolo's dog, I think. And I couldn't find it to put it in the live stream today, but she has a photo with his dog, and I just thought, or someone's dog at his show. And I thought that was so cute. There was just so much there. And all of the celebrities are there. Tracy Ellis Ross has been pulling out look after look after look as well. Anne Hathaway. I mean, I expect Anne Hathaway to shut it down, but she also looked fantastic. She took my breath away. She doesn't do grunge often. So when she did, it really did catch me off guard, and she did it so well. Everybody looked good, but sorry about that, y'all. Everybody looked good, but I have to say, Meghan, her look definitely took my breath away. And I felt like it was just the moment. It changed the whole vibe of not just the show, but just like Paris Fashion Week over the weekend. I just feel like it was such a moment. And I do love that it deviated from what's on trend right now. I feel like it deviated a little bit. Capes are on trend, but I mean, the glass skin, the minimal makeup, the pullback hair, just less is more. That is not what's trendy right now. But that's exactly why Meghan makes it work, because Meghan does Meghan. And I love that she doesn't let the trends move her. She sets the trends. She's the innovator. She does what makes sense for her. And that whole look, the first one and the second one, not only were they individually beautiful, but they complemented each other really well. I just loved everything about it. It was all so cohesive. Her team really did their big one with this. Absolutely loved it. Hi, Andrea Allen. She says, it was magical. Did you see how Meghan was sitting and holding her bag? Yes, her posture, her poise, everything about it was a moment. Everything about it, her walk, I absolutely loved it. And you know what? That walk was so good. People were talking about, oh my God. Do you know how well you have to strut for people to call out to God? They were like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, it was so much noise when she walked in. That was probably my favorite moment. I thought that was so funny and so cute, because I could not agree more. I mean, they weren't expecting Meghan, especially at a Balenciaga show. I probably wouldn't expect her there either. I probably would have been a little surprised, but the entrance that she had, not only was her appearance really cool, but it seemed like everyone was genuinely happy to see her there. It seemed like she was just in good company, and I can only want that for her in whatever environment she's in. Hi, Church Nelly. Church Nelly says, watch Slim and Dim try to cosplay Meghan. But can I say something, y'all? Y'all have to be, and I'm talking about Sussex Squad as a whole, not just the people who watch my channel, but the squad has to be some of the most creative people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting and encountering, because every day y'all have a new name, and every day I'm on the floor laughing at my comments because y'all are quick to pull out a good name for them. And I'm like, why didn't I think of that? Because that's hilarious. Slim and Dim. Really? Okay. I'm adding it to the repertoire. Hi, Joan Garcia. Thank you so much for the super chat. Joan Garcia says, I really hope Meghan will become the main face of Balenciaga and earn even more money. William K. and the Derangers will stroke. I love how you lift and condemn in the same comment. You know what? A multifaceted queen. I love it. Thank you, Joan Garcia. I would love that too. I mean, the sky is the limit for the Sussexes. I mean, they're extremely multifaceted: philanthropy, business, fashion, style, family content, cookware, culinary, like literally every single category. They could check that box because they don't just do things, they do things well, and they do things that are akin to themselves. So everything is so genuine and authentic. They are extremely marketable. So I could see this. I would say that that's a good call if it could happen. She might be too busy though. She has a lot going on. Hi, YM Droid. YM Droid says she matched the more modern but classic look of the whole show. Sure did. Absolutely. And elevated it as well. She looked phenomenal. Everybody looked good, but she definitely, like, when I was scaling back and looking at all of the front row, she stood out. And do you know how hard it is to stand out in all white when the walls and the floor and everything is white? They did their big one. They killed that. Hi, Faith U01. Faith U says, the catwalk takes my breath away. She was strutting better than the models. I was like, okay, y'all, take note. This is how you do it. Hi, Church Nelly. Church Nelly says, they're psychotic and neurotic. Oh, we need a running list. We need a Google Drive or a Google page. They're psychotic and neurotic, enraged and aged. Oh my God. Seedy and needy, willy and silly. Not you and the etc. Oh, I trust that you could keep going. Sorry. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Psychotic and neurotic might be my favorite one. That is going to be really hard to top that because that's so accurate. My goodness. Okay, y'all, it is 5:01. I know that other streamers are probably going up soon, so I'm not going to hold y'all. We've had a good hour. Thank y'all so much for watching. After this, I am going to upload the segments so that you guys can just watch them if you want to without my commentary over them, because I loved all those videos put together of Meghan. She looked phenomenal. So we're definitely going to do that. Oh, hi, Movo. Looking good, Sharion. Thank you. I love that. Thank you. I appreciate my little compliment. Thank you. But yeah, we have, I'm going to upload those segments individually so that if you want to watch them without me cackling over them, that's fine. I just loved all of those, the strutting, the getting in and out of the car. It was definitely a moment. So I definitely want to be able to look at those individually outside of the live stream. So those will go up soon. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you have not already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video or live stream, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and feel free to share. I feel like, I don't want to accuse anybody of anything, but I feel like my platform, if you catch my drift, I feel like I might be getting suppressed. And I don't know why, but who knows? I talk a lot of mess, and who knows? They always getting on to me about something. So I feel like they haven't been sharing my content. So if you feel inclined and you enjoyed today, feel free to share so that more people can find, because they have really been putting me in a little dungeon. So, child, let me get out of the corner and get out of timeout with my little dunce cap. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed today's live stream. Please leave a comment at the end, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.